beautiful, welcome back. So I feel that, in my own opinion, that panty liner is highly underrated. This is part of the most important things that ladies should have in their bag, and I know that a lot of people are aware of it. A lot of people know about panty liner. They just don't think it is that important, whereas it is very important. People usually believe that it is not necessary or that it's a waste of money. We don't have different opinion of what panty liner is, and I feel compelled to just let you guys know the importance of panty liner and what other things that you can use it for. To me, panty liner is like a lifesaver. You really cannot tell when you need it the most. There are so many situations that we find ourselves that panty liner could have saved the day, okay, but because it's just not part of the things that we pack in our bags, your mind does not really go to. There was this day that I was out and I came across a lady. It will be the very first time that I will experience such thing, that I will see such thing. Okay, I'd never seen it in my life. The kind of clothing she was wearing, I think it was like a tight, like leggings. Yeah, she was having something like that on, and a small top, and there was this wet spot on her V part, visible to the whole world to see. It wasn't even a period, it looked more like water, and it wasn't that she sat on water. Okay, that would have been on her butt at the back, but it wasn't. Okay, so just at the front, as if it was coming from the back and got to the front, and I just could not imagine what could have caused that. Okay, there was actually nothing that anyone could do in a situation like that, especially considering what she was wearing. Okay, and what could you have done? What could you have done if it had happened to me? Believe me, the only thing that you could have done to have prevented such things to happen to you is for you to have gone out with your panty liner. Growing up, most of us don't really get to know much about feminine hygiene. It was as if our mothers then they don't think it is a necessary topic to discuss with their daughters. Okay, we end up discovering a lot of things by ourselves. But thank God for internet, thank God for exposure. So many parents are now enlightening their children. So today, let's talk about what you can use panty liner for, what it is made for. Okay, the first thing I want you to know, there are differences between panty liner and sanitary pad. Okay, panty liner is actually made for you to use during your light flow before your period, when you are expecting your period. Okay, the physical appearance is different in such a way that panty liner is much lighter than sanitary pad, and sanitary pad usually has wing, especially the type they are making now, and it has been like that for a very long time. Okay, panty liner cannot be exchanged for sanitary pad because it is not designed for heavy flow, unlike sanitary pad. Okay, there are occasions where you have irregular flow and you are not expecting your period at a particular time, but it came. Okay, within that time, to the time that you will be able to get your sanitary pad, if you had panty liner on, it's going to save you the embarrassment and all sorts of things that you would have experienced if you have spotted at that time. Unexpected, it could happen to anybody. Usually, so many people have heavy flow within the first 3 days of their menstrual flow. Okay, but after some time the flow becomes light, such that it becomes quite inconvenient for you to wear your sanitary pad, especially if the type that you use is for heavy flow. It could be bulky. Okay, in a situation like this, panty liner is what you will use to catch those light flow of your period at that time. Like, panty liner is so light, it literally feels like you're not wearing anything when you have it on. Unfortunately, I did not get to know about panty liner until I was in my late teen. Okay, so there are so many things that we learn, you know, from one another, especially when you have open mind. In school, maybe secondary school, or maybe if you went to boarding house, you would have gotten to know about it. During the time I schooled, I don't think it was something that was that common. Okay, but when I got to university was when I discovered so many feminine hygiene practices, okay, by just taking notes, observing, okay. And aside from that, fortunately for us, internet is another avenue, another platform that we learn so many things like that. See, panty liner is one of the most important things in our feminine hygiene. Okay, it's literally saved the days. It really saves you from so many things, and there are other things that you can use panty liner for. Another reason why panty liner is very important, useful to you, panty liner keeps you fresh all day long. Okay, you all know that aside from when you have your monthly flow, women generally have discharge, okay, especially during ovulation period. It could be heavy for some people, it could be light for some people, but it is still like a little discomfort when it sticks to your pants, and you feel, some people just feel easily irritated. Like me, I do feel easily irritated, and that is why you see some people using like 2 to 3 pants in a day. Believe me, it happens. Okay, if it is something that you have never experienced before, it happens. All right, during the period where your ovulation is heavy, panty liner is what you should use, because you know it is very light and you usually don't feel as if you have anything on. Also very important for those people that work out a lot, because during workouts you could have sudden discharge that your panty liner will catch, okay, when it comes out. And of course, immediately after your workout, you are changing, or okay, you are refreshing yourself and you are changing to another one, but it's going to save you from staining your undies or even the tights that you're wearing for your workouts. Okay, so another beautiful thing about panty liner is that there are people with weak bladders that easily leak urine during the time they sneeze or they laugh, you know, hard laughter or coughing. Okay, if you happens to be one of them, then panty liner, it's like your friend, it's your pally. Okay, that's what I can say. You don't even have to have weak bladder during this period of, you know, laughing and coughing, because it depends on the intensity of the laughter and the cough and the sneeze. Okay, I have watched a comedy that I laughed so hard that I found myself on the floor. My son wanted to know what was wrong with me because I was bringing out tears from my eyes. So if you are the type that instead of tears you're actually leaking urine, panty liner would have saved the day for you. Imagine getting up from your seat with urine stain on your pants or even the trouser or whatever it is that you are wearing. Or imagine you being in the office and this happens. Okay, if you had panty liner on, you would have absorbed the leakage and nobody would know what is going on down there. All right, that's another beautiful thing about panty liner. There could also be stress-induced involuntary urination, which is common among some people. So if you don't know, now you know. Panty liner acts as a light padding for you in this period as well. Okay, panty liner could also serve as added protection with tampon. Like I said earlier on, that sudden laughter outburst or sudden cough could make your discharge to flow out heavier than necessary. You know, this sudden flow is usually too much for your tampon to hold. This is when your panty liner comes in handy, because it's going to hold the extra flow in place. Another beautiful thing about panty liner is that you could use it for postpartum bleeding if it is not heavy. Okay, after some time it actually becomes very light, just like when you are sporting. So during this period, panty liner is also a beautiful thing that you could have. Okay, another thing again is that there are some people that they sweat a lot. Actually, I fall into this category. There are people that sit down, after they sit down for a while, very close to the vein part gets wet and it stained their clothes. If you had something like panty liner on, this would have absorbed the extra moisture that you produce down there. Okay, panty liner protects you from prolonged moisture. Okay, there are people that are probably due to their size and their heavy discharge, they sweat down there along with the heavy flow and they are usually wet over there, and it is not okay. Okay, it is not okay for that area to be moist all the time. It's an invitation for infection. Okay, infection fester in areas that are warm and moist. Okay, so what you want to be doing is to make sure that you are always dry down there as much as possible, most of the time or all the time if possible. Okay, so I hope you get what I'm saying. All right, it is not okay for you to go about with moisture down there. All right, there are some things that you don't want to do with panty liner. One of the things that is not advisable for you to do is to use scented panty liner, especially if you're the type that is easily irritated over there. All right, you know, generally that area is very sensitive because of the pH balance that needs to be kept in check. Okay, 3.8 to 4.5. all right, if you have sensitive skin, believe me, that area is going to be extra sensitive, so you don't want to use scented panty liner. Just like you were advised, okay, not to use scented soap down there. Most of the feminine wash that you see out there, they are not scented. Okay, and if they are scented, probably there are people that they don't react to it, but it is advisable that you don't use scented products in that area. Another thing you don't want to do with panty liner is for you to use it in place of your sanitary pad. It is not designed for heavy flow. It is designed for light flow. You use it before your period and after your period when your flow is very light. Okay, so many people have different duration and different ways that their flow comes out. Okay, some people are heavy throughout till it ends. Okay, after the last day it just disappears like that and all. But there are some people that they are only heavy within the first till the third day of their flow. Okay, and whereas the rest of the either 2 or 4 days are very light, like what you call spotting. They just Another thing you want to know about panty liner is that no matter how soft your panty liner is, you don't want to use it during your dry period. To be honest with you, it is something that I experienced some times ago and it is not that comfortable at all. Okay, so during this period you don't want to use it. You just want to have the feel of your cotton pants. Okay, this I'm talking from experience. If you don't believe me, try it. Okay, experience is the best teacher. Another thing you want to make sure that you're not doing with your panty liner is for you to wear it for a very long time. The moment you have 1 or 2 spots on it, you want to make sure that you are changing it. Okay, actually it shouldn't be worn more than like 3 to 4 hours. You want to be changing it to refresh it as much as possible. But to be honest with you, it is something that you change twice or at most thrice in a day. And then finally, make sure that you avoid using it daily. Okay, but I don't know, some people just go to the extreme in some things and they just want to wear it every day. It is not something you want to wear every day. Okay, during the night You just want to hair that area, especially when there's no cause for alarm, there's no need for you to use it, then you don't have to use it. Okay, there are other few things that you can actually use panty liner for aside from all these that I mentioned. Okay, if you're the type that sweat a lot, especially from your armpits, panty liner could serve as something to absorb excess sweat from your armpit by sticking it to your clothes, the armpit part of your clothes. Okay, if I see a picture that shows exactly what I'm talking about, I will put it here. And then another thing again that panty liner is most essential for, a lot of people, they have folds when you're wearing your tights. People that from their heads to their toes, if they fold the clothes that they are wearing, it's not going to be bigger than the size of my fist. Okay, that is how soft some material could be. Okay, be it your tight, be it your gown, you know, there are materials like that. And of course, these materials usually feel like second skin on your body. They have this VPS syndrome, visible pants line syndrome. That is what it is called. If you're wearing clothes like that, like I just mentioned, then your pant lines are going to be showing. What you want to avoid the most, okay, is for the shape of your V parts to be visible to the whole world, even after you're wearing something. If you happen to be someone like that, you don't want the shape of your V parts to be visible to the whole world, panty liner is your best pal. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in once again. Do stay blessed, stay beautiful, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.